Hello. Today I'm going to discuss with you how menopause literally stopped me in my tracks. And honestly, I think it was for the good. So, if you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm Dr. Lori Marbus. I'm a board certified family and lifestyle medicine, and I've spent the last 20 years plus being a physician, but more around 12 years really understanding the foundation of health, which are those lifestyle habits that so many of us know we should be doing but struggle to do so. And I like to focus on the behavior piece and the nutrition, all of that I love. And I was doing that, right? I was practicing what I preach. But last November, I had been really training to run the Boston Half Marathon with my daughter who lives in Boston. And I was at an amazing weight. I got a PR and things were going great. But something suddenly shifted. I had all this joint pain, especially in my outer hip area. And I could not figure out what was going on. And at the same time, my periods have halted and thinking not too much about it, but then the hot flashes started coming and they weren't too severe. They'd come a couple of times a day. Started to disrupt my sleep, but the joint pain was the most bothersome because I couldn't do my running anymore. And I thought, what is going on? And at first I just kind of thought, well, maybe I just need to just cut down on my training. Maybe that was the main thing. Was this more? Um, I don't know. Was I just tired from the travel to Boston and back to California? Like lots of things, right? These hormonal shifts that you start playing in your mind. But then I really just took time to be very introspective. And so many of us are so busy that we're always doing for others, right? Women in this in this world, even um, you're working, you're a mom, you're doing all these things that need to run the household. It's just what we do, right? We're always thinking and serving others. And many times it's not until something happens to us physically that we stop and are forced to be present with what's going on in our own bodies that we may have neglected or maybe even have been trying to do well, but we're still struggling and all these crazy symptoms start appearing. That's when I really started diving into really the symptoms of menopause, the causes of all the things that can occur during these hormonal shifts. Understand, obviously, as a physician, what menopause is, but I didn't truly appreciate the nuances. Yeah, until I was going through it myself. And yeah, so I am just opening up and being very true and honest with my own journey, having been, very healthy my whole life, and then really just having this halt my running, which was my escape, my time to be me and just feel good and strong. And but what it did allow me was it forced me to take mindful walks, which was a piece which was so important. And during that time that I really took an inward journey and developed a deeper sense of why I'm here, my purpose, and, really slowed down. And that's also when I really wanted to take a pivot and where I'm really working towards, like, I have a foundational experience and training on how to help people get well and really help maybe share my story with people other women who are also going through this menopausal transition. And I'm all in and just learning so much, and I'm sharing that with you as I come along. But of course, I've certainly helped and cared for menopausal women and their symptoms, lots of it, but never had to deal with it myself. So I made a personal choice to start menopausal hormone therapy, or HRT is another, people are more likely to know it as that. And I will tell you, I feel much, much better. Now, it is not for everyone. And of course, the data is still changing and evolving, but I think it's for more people than they realize. And so I wanted to share that, but I also want to highlight what are the symptoms of menopause. So sometimes things are going on that you may not even recognize. But of course, I think the most common one are what we describe as vasomotor symptoms, right? These are the hot flashes and the night flashes and the flushing that occur. And you'll feel it coming and then it hits. And you're like, what is going on? And these hormonal drives are occurring because the estrogen affects your hypothalamus, which is your temperature regulation part of your brain. And then the blood vessels dilate to, open up and release the heat. Anyway, It's fascinating to see what's going on physiologically. Next, you have the genitourinary syndrome of menopause, right? So you have the vaginal dryness, the atrophy of the vaginal tissue, and urinary issues. Maybe you have recurring UTIs, painful intercourse. Those things can be very uncomfortable and very frustrating. So that alone can also be one issue. There's also treatments that if you can't take maybe systemic hormone therapy, but there's topical regional that are actually pretty safe even for women with a history of some absolute contraindication to systemic hormone therapy. Next, you have the psychological issues, right? But I was like, who am I if I can't go run and do what I want, right? There's the stress and anxiety and lack of sleep. They can lead to mood swings, anxiety, depression, memory loss, looking for words. There is menopausal brain symptoms going on here, right? So that's affecting our neurologic system. So there's some pieces there that one, if you're already not in the best health and now you go through menopause, everything seems to be exacerbated, plus there's other symptoms. So there's many things that we should be paying account or paying attention to what we can do on a day-to-day basis. Next is those musculoskeletal symptoms. Yeah, which is what got my attention. The joint and the muscle pain, it is insane. Some women will get back pain, but also you'll see during this perimenopausal phase, you get an accelerated loss of bone mass, right? So this is worsening your risk factors for osteoporosis. You also get some cardiovascular changes. My lipid panel actually went from my LDL, my bad cholesterol went from being always below 100 in my entire life to above 100, just barely for the first time. Went back on hormone therapy and it dropped again. So that is really interesting when you look at the data. Women premenopausal, they're at a lower risk for heart disease than men. You hit that menopause and postmenopausal, we come to the same risk factors, or risk factors, but the same likelihood of dying of heart attack, which again is the number one killer of men and women in the United States, is cardiovascular disease. So lots there. Again, other symptoms include, of course, weight gain, which is really frustrating. Hormones affect the way we actually store fat, increasing our visceral fat. There are absolutely things you can do even outside of hormone therapy. Fatigue, headaches, changes in hair, skin, losing its elasticity, and of course, hair loss is another thing. So just to name a few of those symptoms. So what I've done is I've created a menopause symptom questionnaire, and it's free. You can download it. You just put your email in and it delivers right to you. There's a link in the description below. And really just thinking, I want you to think about how severe or mild, and then I give you some guidance on what to do next. I think you may find that helpful. And also in that document, you will see a opportunity to register for my free masterclass called the 5 Steps to Master Metabolism and Lose Weight. And I go over in that masterclass my signature framework to help people lose weight, but also the 4 biggest mistakes people make in their journey of weight loss. And so I have patients who've lost upwards of 350 pounds. And so over the decades, I've learned a lot about, one, the psychology of weight loss, what's going on hormonally, what you need to be doing with your food, your nutrition, and exercise. So I'm eager and excited to share that with you. So I hope you found this helpful. And again, if you are new to this, welcome, and please hit the subscribe button and maybe share us with someone you know that might be able to relate to it. And maybe you've had an easy breezy menopause. God bless you. That's fantastic. I was not one of them, but I think it was meant to happen because I was meant to be introspective and become more mindful of just life in general. And it actually has improved my quality of life. And so there's that. And I always want to end my presentations with a thank you of gratitude for having you here. So I'm sending you joy, love, and happiness, and above all, healing, because we definitely need more of that in this world. And again, I hope you find the menopause symptom questionnaire helpful, because it was a real joy to make. And I will see you next time.